In this video, I'm going to talk about just kind of like the beginning if you're wondering about remote nursing. Let me start off by telling you that remote nursing is real. My name is Donna, and I've been a remote nurse now for about a year. Probably maybe a year and a half. Full time, I would say a year. Before that, I was doing part time. And the reason that I'm saying it's real is because it's still so many nurses that don't believe it's real. It's so many nurses that don't understand that there's so many jobs out there. And the only reason that a person wouldn't understand that is that they're not looking for themselves. And I know because I was one of them. I heard about remote nursing probably, I would say probably 4 years ago, maybe 5, maybe even 6, to be honest. I think I've heard about it for a while. But I was thinking that I couldn't do it. I was thinking that, it's probably only certain people that get those kind of jobs. So I just kind of like canceled it out myself. And to be totally honest with you, I could kick myself right now because now that I'm in it and I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to be totally honest with you, I am loving it. I just wish I would have gotten started on it sooner. Because the truth is, and those are the things I was thinking that I couldn't get it, don't qualify, this, that, and the other. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to get to that. But they're real. The jobs are real. There's so many jobs out there. Okay. I started on the journey when I was 60, on the remote nursing journey. And at first, I was doing like most nurses do. Oh, I got this. I got it. So I was applying for jobs. I would look for jobs, apply. Didn't know what I was doing. Nothing happened. Nothing. Zero. Nothing happened. Okay. So I started researching information, and I would go on this page, this Facebook page, and I'll go over here on YouTube. I was searching all over the place, and somebody would tell me a little piece over here, a little smidget over there, and it was like, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to find somebody. Then I would go to some other channel, and then somebody would be talking about it, but they're not saying nothing. They're saying a lot, but they're saying nothing. And I said, if I ever find out what's going on, I'm going to break it down for someone to understand. Make it simple, people. Tell me what I need to do. Tell me what it's all about. So anyway, that's what I'm purposing to do, to make it very, very simple to help you understand. And I've been saying in some videos, I'm going to say it again, remote nursing is its own world. And if you don't understand, ain't nothing going to happen. That's as simple as I can start off to tell you that. The jobs are there. The jobs are real. I have an associate's degree. And, I've heard some nurses on some of the platforms, they're like, oh, you probably have a BSN. No, I don't. I do not. Now, I was working on it. And to be honest with you, I need to go back because and finish it, but I have to go to the local college because the math part was like way over my head, and I'm almost down to the end, and I need to go and finish it, and I am, now that things have really, really slowed down for me. So remote nursing is available for LVNs, RNs, nurse practitioners. Now, most of the positions that I see as I'm researching are for RNs and then also nurse practitioners, also social workers. There are some jobs for LVNs as well. Now, what is it that they want nurses to do in remote nursing? I mean, you really need to, wrap your mind around that. So basically what it is remote nursing is basically using nurses in a different way to do things like, and let me get this, audit records to make sure that, let's say if a patient is ordered, the doctor orders surgery, that the surgery is really necessary. So it could be, a nurse could be an auditor where they're looking for, you know, waste with healthcare dollars. So they don't want waste. They want to make sure every procedure, every surgery, every hospital stay is really, really necessary. And then it could be just reviewing charts on, like, if a, you know, doctors are using best practices. Nurses could be doing coordination of care. Let's say a patient gets out of the hospital and they're gonna go, you know, home, and they want the nurse to talk to the home health agency that's going to be taking care of them. Or let's say a patient is going to a skilled nursing facility, then they want the nurse to coordinate with that, you know, with that facility, just like how we give, you know, a report. That nurse is actually giving report to the new facility and making sure they have all the information. Another important part of remote nursing is educating patients, and you know, educating them about how the importance of following up with their doctor or taking their medication, and support the healthcare team virtually. So you're basically using the clinical, but if you notice in all these different positions, these different roles of remote nursing, the number one goal, and this is where we have to wake up to, nurses. We gotta wake up. I had to wake up. The number one goal in everything that I just named is really cost. It's really about cost. Secondly, it's the patient care, but the first primary is that in the United States, we've been wasting so much, you know, health dollars, and the care hasn't been that all that good. And so that's another position that a nurse could do as well, is to monitor quality. And so as our nation wakes up that we're spending a lot of money on healthcare, but the healthcare quality is not good, and patients have been returning, you know, back to the hospital, not getting better and things like that. So now they're like, okay, this is how we're going to attack this problem. And it is a huge problem. And that's the reason why remote nursing is so big and growing, is because companies are putting, starting their own, you know, remote nursing group there in their facilities, or insurance companies, so that they can start attacking this problem of healthcare waste, healthcare dollars being wasted, and the quality is not good. So what I would suggest to you, I'm going to ask you to do something. Go take a look on some sites. Go look on, you know, LinkedIn or Glassdoor, and just check out the remote nursing positions. There's a lot of positions, even more. The more that I'm looking, I'm like, I'm surprised. I look at jobs all the time, but I'm surprised. But it's because of that reason. It's because they are tackling the you know, the quality of care, and the money being wasted in healthcare in our country. That's what it's all about. And we've been behind, and so now we got to catch up. And so there are companies that are actually, a lot of companies, as they start these programs, they are hiring, you know, one company could be hiring hundreds and hundreds of nurses. The insurance company that I work for, they started a new care coordination program, and they hired hundreds of nurses at one time. And so the opportunities are there. It's real. And I'm going to be sharing with you, you know, how to start that journey, and not only how to start it, how to be successful with it. But I have to be very authentic with you. And one of the main problems that has gotten in the way of a lot of us nurses who want to transition to remote nursing is that we think we can just go and apply and it's going to happen. It doesn't happen like that because remote nursing is different. It's not like the interviews that, you know, we went to like at the hospital or a medical facility or even a home health agency. When you go to those type of healthcare facilities, they're looking at your degree, your experience, what hours can you work. Remote nursing is a whole different ball game, and I'm not going to go into the interviews today, but I'm just saying that's just one of the pieces. The hiring systems are different. So as I was doing my research, I found out that there are, and there's more than that actually, but I found 60 different remote nursing roles. I had no idea that there, you know, that many out there. And it's really only two categories. It's either roles that involve patient interaction or roles that don't involve patient interaction. And on another video, I'm going to actually talk about those roles. I'm going to name a few of them today. So a role with patient interaction could be like a nursing navigator, which is what I do. That's not a case manager nurse or a nurse educator. So that's one involving patient interaction. And let me just explain. Patient interaction means that, you know, we have to call patients on the phone and talk to them and, you know, interact with them. Now, the roles without patient interaction, it could be like a utilization review nurse, a clinical documentation nurse, a quality improvement nurse. And that means they don't have any interaction directly with any patients. They're simply auditing records. And so for me personally, I really, you know, I wanted to get my foot in the door, but my preference was to have some patient interaction. It wasn't really appealing to me to be sitting looking at charts all day long, you know. That's just me personally. So that's one of the things you would have to decide is what type of role would you want? Would you want one, you know, interacting with patients, or would you not? Or would you just say, let me just get my foot in the door? Because that's what I said. I prefer to work with the patients, but if I can get my foot in the door with, you know, auditing records, I'll do that. So now I'm going to answer for you, how do you qualify? That was another thing. Before I actually knew the answer, I talked myself out of it. You know, when I first heard about remote nursing, and you may be doing the same thing. For most remote nursing roles, you qualify through your license. And I already said earlier that it could be, you know, an LVN, an RN with an associate's, BSN, master's, and on up. A lot of companies want you to have at least 2 years of nursing experience. So mostly everybody meets those requirements, unless you're a new graduate. But that's also the same reason why it's very competitive, because it's so many nurses applying. But it's not luck to get chosen. It's the nurses who take the time and invest in figuring out how do they need to, you know, go through the channels to put themselves in the right place, have the right mind, because it is a different mindset. You know that when you work a bedside or direct care, you're focused on give medicines, do orders, and things like that. So what is the focus in remote nursing? Your mind has to be on, I'm going to be doing quality. I got to see what this patient's going to need. So you got to be anticipating and thinking, what does this patient need? You know, if someone had surgery, what are they going to need at home? They may need somebody to help them with meals. They may need someone to take them to the doctor, you know, and just things like that. What do they need? They may need home health. They may need to go to a nursing facility. So that's the thought. So remote nursing it's not task oriented where you're up physically doing things, but you have to sit down and you have to think. And you can learn to do this because I learned to do it. You have to learn how to anticipate what a patient needs. And so this is very attainable, and I love it. And a lot of companies, a lot of remote companies do on-the-job training. And, you know, they give you time and to learn and, you know, and different things like that. Now, when I first started my remote nursing job, it was a little, you know, it was a little, I was like, what am I doing? What do I expect? But after I got it all, you know, went through the training and started developing my own workflow, I absolutely love it. And I have to tell you too, and just being honest, even after I got a job offer, it did seem like a dream. I was like, I know this is real, but it just seemed like, because I've been doing, you know, going to a facility, going to a hospital, going home health for years. So to actually go sit at home, get up in the morning, get dressed, and I go sit at a computer, and I'm talking to someone, and I can go take a break. I go take my lunch. I can go, you know, take different breaks throughout the day. I'm like, this just can't be real. But it is. It's very real. I'm enjoying it. And I'm sharing information with different nurses, who are interested in it. Now, I do have to give you the disclaimer. Before I actually got a remote nursing job offer, I did part-time so that I could get full-time. But it took me about a year, and I committed to applying for a year. Now, the first 6 months, I didn't even know what I was doing. So, you know, it was part of the year, but the first 6 months I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, you know what, if I really want this, I better find out what's going on. How do you do this? What's involved? And so once I found out, you know, through different sources, and I give glory and honor to God because He connected me with the right people. Then after that, it was about 4 months. So I tell nurses, if you know what you're doing, it is very, very possible for you to get a remote nursing job within 3 to 4 months. If you don't know what you're doing, it can go on. And it can go on, and I'm proof of that. But I'm going to be sharing more information step by step. And if you would like to be notified, click the follow, subscribe, or whatever it is that whatever platform you're watching. If you want a lead on some remote nursing jobs, I do have a Facebook page where I post jobs, because I found out in the journey that's one of the hurdles right there. That takes a lot of time to actually research the jobs on all these different platforms, and I'm going to talk about that, about the companies that hire remote nurses. And so it just saves time. I do a weekly job post where I've already filtered the jobs. I don't put any on the platform that require remote nursing experience. So this is totally for beginners, and that's actually the name of my page, is remote nursing jobs for beginners. I have a Facebook page. It will be in the description if you are interested in that. And so and also I give tips on there too. So that helps, that saves a lot of time. And these jobs are all across the U.S. There are some jobs where you can work in any state. In any state, doesn't matter as long as you have a license. And so until the next time, peace. Off you go. And it's still going.